Artificial intelligence. I mean, it feels like it's absolutely everywhere, but how does it really work? Today, we're going to demystify the tech behind the buzz and break down exactly how it all functions, from the deep down code to the apps you use every single day.
And chances are, you're using AI way more than you even realize. It's that invisible engine powering your Netflix recommendations. It's the friendly voice in your mapping app. And yeah, it's the chatbot that answers your questions at 2 in the morning. It's already woven deep into the fabric of our lives.
But what's actually going on there? You know, when you ask Siri for the weather or when an app suggests a song you end up loving, it can feel like total magic, right? But here's the thing. It's not. It's technology, and it's something we can totally understand.
So we're going to treat AI kind of like an onion. We're going to peel it back layer by layer, starting right from its core intelligence and working our way all the way out to the products you use every day. All right, to really get how it works, we have to start with a simple, clear definition. So let's just cut through all the hype and the buzzwords. What is artificial intelligence, really?
At its absolute heart, AI is really just the science of making machines smart. The whole goal is to build systems that can mimic human stuff, like learning, solving problems, and understanding language. We're basically trying to replicate our own intelligence inside a machine.
And it has become so incredibly common. I mean, from the voice assistants on our phones to the systems that protect our bank accounts from fraud, AI is now doing things that, not too long ago, only a human could do. It all comes back to learning patterns and making intelligent decisions.
But look, AI didn't just appear out of thin air. It has a surprisingly long and, honestly, a pretty fascinating history that helps explain why everything is moving so incredibly fast today. So let's take a quick trip back in time. It all started as this big philosophical question way back in 1950 with Alan Turing. The field got its official name in '56, but the real shift, the big one, happened in the '90s when we stopped trying to program rules and started letting machines learn from data. And then, 2017, the transformer architecture arrived, and boom, that was a total revolution. It's the engine for basically all the powerful AI we see today. Okay, so this idea of learning from data, how does that actually work? This is where we get into the process called training, and I promise it's a lot less like magic and more of a really clever, repeatable process.
The core of this whole learning process is something called an AI model. And you know what? The best way to think of it is like a super powerful car engine. On its own, the engine has all this incredible capability, but it can't actually take you anywhere, right? It needs to be put inside a car. Well, in the same way, the model is the brain, but it needs a body to actually be useful. So how do you build that brain? You train it, almost like you'd teach a child. First, you just flood it with a massive amount of data, say millions and millions of pictures of cats. Second, it starts to recognize the patterns all by itself. Pointy ears, whiskers, tails, that sort of thing. And third, through constant feedback and correction, it gets better and better, adjusting itself millions of times until it can reliably tell a cat from a dog.
Okay, so now that we know what a model is, let's get back to our onion. We're going to look at the 5 distinct layers that turn a raw AI model into a product that you can actually hold in your hand and use. Right at the very center, the absolute core, we have layer 1, the AI model itself. This is that trained brain, that engine we were just talking about. Models like OpenAI's GPT-4 or Google's Gemini, they're just pure intelligence. They aren't an app. They are the raw power source. So how do you access all that power? Well, that's layer 2, the API. That stands for Application Programming Interface. Just think of the API as the wiring that connects the engine to the rest of the car. It's the bridge that lets a programmer send a question over to the model and get an answer back. Simple as that.
Now, layer 3 is where things get really, really powerful. This is the agent model. This is where thinking meets doing. An agent combines the model's brain with actual tools, like the ability to search the web or pull info from a database. So while the model thinks, the agent can actually take action in the real world.
Next up, we have layer 4, the application. This is the part you actually see and touch. It's the website, it's the mobile app, it's that chat window. When you're using ChatGPT, you're interacting with the application layer, which is busy in the background using an API to talk to a model.
And finally, we get to the outer skin of the onion, layer 5, the AI product. This is the whole shebang. It's the complete package that turns a cool application into a real business. We're talking pricing, branding, customer support. This final layer is what turns a tech demo into a real product, like Grammarly or Midjourney.
So we have these 5 layers of technology, but who actually builds all this stuff? Well, it turns out the industry is structured into 4 main groups of builders, and each one plays a really different role in this whole AI ecosystem.
At the very foundation, you've got the model creators, like OpenAI. They're doing the incredibly expensive research. They rely on the infrastructure companies like NVIDIA and Amazon for all that raw computing power. Above them, you have the application builders, creating products we actually use, like Notion AI. And then right at the top, you have automation builders, who use tools like Zapier to plug that AI into everyday business stuff. You can see how each layer completely depends on the one right below it.
And here's probably the most important takeaway from all of this. You do not need hundreds of millions of dollars to get involved. The biggest and most accessible opportunities are sitting right there at the top and building useful applications and clever automations on top of the powerful models that already exist. So there you have it. We've gone from a simple question to a complete map of the AI landscape, from the core model all the way out to the final product and all the people who build each part. This isn't magic. It's a structured system with clear layers and real opportunities. So the only question left is, now that you have the map, where will you choose to build?